guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. My name is Isabel and I'm here today to share with you something that is probably in your everyday life if you're like me. Do you ever find yourself laying on the bed, scrolling through social media, reading a chapter of a book, even doing stuff that you don't like laundry, but you prefer doing rather than that project that you're dreading? Yes, I am talking about procrastination. In this video, I talk about 5 main tips that I have come up with through personal experience and a lot of research. Procrastination is based around lies. While we procrastinate, we lie to ourselves because we say, I don't need to do this today, I can do it tomorrow, or oh come on, I can still look at my phone for an hour. It's all about lying, so keep in mind that while you're doing all of these tips and steps that I have here for you today, don't lie to yourself because it's just going to be counterproductive. It's useless. The first thing that I have on this list is motivation. Motivation is a very tricky subject. This is because sometimes we do feel like we can't do that project. We just physically can't. It's too difficult. We don't want to do it. We prefer doing anything else rather than that. So motivation can actually be quite helpful. But if you spend more than 5 minutes looking for it, so scrolling on Instagram for motivational quotes or Pinterest or internet or even watching this video, wait. Don't click off yet. You are still procrastinating. Do you ever find yourself when you're like 30 days from the end of the year, like me right now, and you make this really 30-day ideal plan and you're supposed to follow everything strictly every day and it's going to be amazing. You're not going to rush everything like last year. It's going to be totally different this year. Well, that happens to all of us. And then you don't follow the plan and then you arrive at a 15-day one and you're like, okay, new plan. And then you're like a week before and you're cramming everything in that you haven't done because you've just done the bare minimum. Yes, that is also procrastination because planning too strictly, trying to do these really ideal self-rules are useless. It's better off to just plan day by day a little bit just to see kind of what you have to do and have an idea of your day without having a longer period of time to plan because it's not really going to work out the way you want it to. Remove distractions. This is a very big one for me because I get distracted, for example, by my phone all the time. I might be in the middle of a study session and my phone will beep and I will straight away want to look at the message. The problem is I won't just read it. I will then open Instagram and start scrolling on social media for hours and hours, and then 45 minutes later I'm like, oh, I should be studying right now. And I just lost 45 minutes doing something that I really didn't need to be doing right now. Sometimes though, this can be very difficult because what you should do is just turn off your phone or put it out into another room. Sometimes though, if you're like me and you need your phone a lot for school or work, you need your phone, so you can't put it somewhere else. So what I do, for example, if I need a timer, is just I'll put my phone on airplane mode so that I can still use my timer without getting any notifications and I'm completely isolated from the rest of the population. This also works though if you want to use, for example, Google Classroom on your phone. What you do is there's loads of apps, or for example on iOS you already have this possibility. Go into your settings, go on screen time. Here you will not only read how much time you've been using your phone, which can also be a wake-up call, but you would also be able to turn off certain apps so that you can use the ones that you want, but limit the ones that you don't want to be using right now. That is also a very good way. Coming back to the timer, I was saying that I use the timer. I find it really useful to study/work by time. You've probably heard of the Pomodoro method. That means 25 minutes work, 5-minute break. But I found that for me it's more effective if I do a 30-minute work, 10-minute break. This is because those 5 minutes really change a lot. Also, what I recommend doing in that 10-minute break is leave the room if you can in which you're studying, so that your brain knows that in that room, in that place where you're sitting, laying, wherever, that's where you study, that's where you concentrate and work. And then when you go away, you know, okay, now it's time to take a break and relax. Remember that it's very important to take a break. Third tip is essential. Sometimes it's just such a big project that we don't even want to get started. Starting is a lot of the time the biggest problem. So what I recommend doing is divide into smaller, more manageable tasks the big projects. And when you do this, then prioritize your tasks. Do first the most important and urgent ones, so you will be more rewarded later and feel more accomplished, and you can take it off your mind faster and be done with it. Also, bigger tasks tend to be the longest ones. So if you do them first, then you only have short, easier tasks to do at the end. Set deadlines. Setting deadlines is very important. There was a recent study that was done on a university where they divided into two groups of people. One group was given 3 assignments and 1 month to do it, and they could turn it in whenever they wanted. The other group had weekly deadlines for those 3 projects. It turned out that the result of the people who had the weekly deadlines was more efficient than the ones that had to make their own. So if you know that you have a project not due until next week, you're probably not going to do it until the night before. But if you say to yourself, right, I have until tomorrow to write the introduction, and then I have until Wednesday to write most of it, and then I have still a couple of days to review it and revise and come back to it later. This is very important. Set your own deadlines. And my last but not least important step is to set rewards. Take breaks. Take time for yourself. Go read that chapter of the book you're wanting to read. Watch some TV. But do it once you've done your work, because if you do it before, you're not going to enjoy it as much, because in the back of your mind, you know that you should be doing something else. And that's where it is procrastination. But if you do it after, it's really important, because while you're working through it, you know, fine, once I'm done with this, I can go eat an ice cream. Take some small rewards for completing a task, and then a bigger reward once you complete a project. So say after 30 minutes of study, I will take a 10-minute break and just scroll through Instagram and eat a sandwich. And then at the end of your project, you can say, I'm going to have a pamper day for myself. Thank you guys so much for watching. Put a big thumbs up on this video, subscribe to my channel, turn on the post notification bell so you don't miss any of my latest content. Oh my god, that's a hard word to say. So you don't miss any of my latest content. Okay guys, see you in the next video. Bye!